Part C.5, hints for homework 1, part 1, Q3 and 7. Because we have 10-something minutes. So I like to explain 2 questions in our first homework assignment. The first question, number 3, the rule of 72 is more popular than the rule of 70 because it is more accurate. This statement, true or false? Here, I like to give you some, background or some hidden information behind this question. First, regarding the fact. So first, we need to check the fact is correct or not. Second, reasoning. Okay? If any part is wrong, the whole statement is wrong. If the fact is wrong, the whole statement is wrong. If reasoning is wrong, the whole statement is wrong. Okay? All right. First, the fact part. Rule of 72 is more popular than rule of 70. Is this correct or not? This is the fact part. Based on our experience in everyday life, this fact is correct. Rule of 72 is more popular. People tend to use rule of 72 more frequently than using rule of 70. So this part, so we should not question it. But what is the reason? Then it's another issue, because there could be some different reasons. Here, I give you one reason, so you need to think about if it is true or false, because it is more accurate. Because we know both approximation, right? Both rules approximation, not exact. If approximation, then there is some error, right? Errors. So which one has smaller error? So then with the one with smaller error is more accurate. So that's another fact part. So that part, we need to go to our notes. So in our notes, I talk about that. Okay? In our notes, I derived formula estimation part. Okay? So remember, we use log. Actually, we use natural log, right? And we also use Taylor expansion, right? And after that, we derive some estimate formula. You can find it in the notes. After you see that formula, you can make a decision if it is more accurate or not. All right. Because based on that, you can make a decision if this reasoning part is correct or not. Okay? So that's one. If it is not correct, there must be some other reason make it more popular. Could be other reasoning, other reason behind that fact. Here, I want to give you a hint here to look at another possible reason. Look at the factorization. 72. How do we factorize it? A times 9, right? A equals 2 cubed. 9 equals 3 squared. All right. Let's look at 70. Factorization, prime factorization. 2 times what? 5 times 7. All right. So now the question. For each number, how many factors are there in each number? Can you see that? How many factors? Yeah. Because the number of factors will tell you the number of integers divisible by these two numbers. So you can look at from that point of view. Yeah. All right, so this is the background and a hint for question number 3. Yeah. Next question. Number 7. If the clock cycle time of a CPU increased by B%, then the clock rate is reduced by C% as its direct result. Which of the following relations between B and C is correct? All right. So in our comprehension question, I give you a similar question. Yeah. So you can also study that. But in that place, I didn't give you explanation. So you need to know how to find the logic behind the answer. Yeah. All right. So here, let me give you that part of the information. Yeah. First, definition of the clock rate. Yeah. So let me just use the notation. Clock cycle time. I just use T. Okay. Yeah. Clock rate. I just use R. Okay. All right. So then, based on the definition of the clock rate, R equals reciprocal of T. Okay. In another equivalent expression, T times R equals 1. And this formula always true, because we derive from the definition, always true. That means after you increase one number, as a direct result, decrease another number, this equation also true. Based on that, we can get this. Increase T by B%. Here we can drop that percent sign. So 1 minus B. Oh, increase 1 plus B, right? Yeah. 1 plus B time. Then rate reduced by C %. C, all right? R equals 1. Okay. Then, so let's just change the order of the factor a little bit. TR equals 1. But we know this TR itself equals 1. Yeah. So we can get 1 plus B times 1 minus C equals 1. The next step is important. Yeah. After you get this equation, how to do the next? Many of you may not be able to get that part here. So let me show you the key step. You just write 1 plus B equals 1 over 1 minus c. Okay. Then the next step is very important. We want to change the form of the formula. When we change, we do this. We multiply 1 plus c over 1 plus c. That's the same number, but we make some important change. The denominator becomes 1 minus c squared. Okay? Now, let's look at the denominator, 1 minus c squared. First, this number we know, this whole number less than 1, right? C squared positive, so less than 1. Yeah. And we can assume here c, because we dropped the percent sign, so we can assume c between 0 and 1. Okay, yeah. Then, if we change the denominator from 1 minus c squared to 1, do we increase the fraction or decrease the fraction? The denominator becomes larger, so the fraction becomes smaller, right? Yeah. So it should be greater than 1 plus c over 1. Yeah. Then 1 plus b greater than 1 plus c, so b greater than c. How about that? Okay, b greater than c. Based on this formula transformation, we get this result. Look at that. Okay? All right, so that's the logic behind this question. Okay? Yeah. Try to understand. Yeah. All right, so that's the question number 7. Yeah. So let me stop C.5 here. Yeah. The remaining, still there are many other questions. I need to give you hints, background information in part D. Part D of module 3. Yeah. All right, so let's finish part C first.